Joining us tonight, our Suns insider, Duane Rankin of the Arizona Republic. And we dressed up and we looked good out here tonight, but I just got to know, you've had some time to process. What did you make of what we saw here tonight?
They just got destroyed. I mean, it just was obliteration from start to finish. Luka set the tone, getting buckets early, and then it just snowballed from there. Spencer Dinwiddie was hitting threes from out of bounds, it seemed like. He had 30, Luka 35, Jalen Brunson 24. Those three scored 89 points. The Suns scored 90 total.
Yeah.
That sums up the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, their three stars had one field goal combined in the third quarter.
Yes. And then obviously Ayton not playing a lot of minutes. He played like 3:34 the second half. Came out from what we're hearing. Guess him and Monty got into it. And then Monty said after the game it was eternal why Ayton only played 17 minutes. So clearly something happened between them two that led to Coach Williams not playing him in a game that, yes, it was out of hand, but you would think that part of your big three would be out on the floor. Ayton wasn't for the last 12, 18 minutes or so of the game.
Yeah, I did want to ask you about that because that's really the buzz now is the future with Ayton, obviously all the drama coming into this season. I mean, how do you think maybe that impacted the game plan, the energy here on the bench?
Well, it just, I mean, look, they were getting just trashed anyway. I think that just basically you look at it and you go, okay, this is another thing. You know, like it was like, all right, because maybe you didn't even know Brian Gates, one of their assistant coaches, wasn't even on the bench because he was out for health and safety protocols. So you're like, so you had that, then the game's getting out of hand. Then you're looking at the way Devin's not being aggressive, Chris not being himself. Dallas is playing, you know, it seemed like they were hitting every huge shot, and the lead stretching, and then that's another thing. Like, you go into halftime thinking, Devin even said, like, I'm thinking we can make a push. Well, you come out in the third quarter, not only do you not make a push, but then one of your best players has issues with the coach. So that just was another layer, another cinder block on just a crushing loss.
Yeah, and the guys said that there was never a point where they thought this was out of reach. They wanted to have that resolve, that belief. But I want to ask you, when did you know this game was over?
Well, I mean, in the third quarter. I mean, fans were leaving.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you don't come to a Game 7 to leave early. And when fans started exiting, but for me personally, I was like, how do you come back from being down 30 at the half? Like, what do you do? Like Dallas has to totally collapse. And Phoenix has to make like every 3 out of every 4 shots to get back in the game, let alone win the game. And then when that didn't happen early and Luka was still being Luka, and it was like, this is just embarrassing on like so many levels. Like, it reached a point where you were like, wow, this is going to end? This season is going to end like this?
Yeah, I said to my social media followers that if I were to produce a 30 for 30 on Arizona sports, it would be called Going Out Sad. Because you kind of expect that at this point. And after this, I don't think that title is going to be reworked.
No. You can roll with that. I mean, if you want to make that happen, I mean, we can call ESPN and get the ball rolling. Because this was just another chapter of agonizing losses for these. I mean, these fans came here for a celebration. Like, hey, you know what? Dallas didn't push them. Yeah, they made it a 7th game, but you know, we got the Phoenix Suns. We have the best record in the league. We have the best team. It's like even Monty saying after the game, you know, we're the best team in the league. We've been the best team in the league all season. Well, they didn't play like it in the biggest game of the season. He's taking ownership for it, saying it's my fault. But as Chris said, you know, he doesn't make shots. He doesn't make passes. He doesn't get rebounds. And it's a total dropping of the ball by anyone that was involved with either game plan, execution, play. Anybody that came on the court for them tonight should take some ownership of what happened.
So my question to you is, how do they move forward? What's next for this team?
Well, I mean, look, last year they probably weren't supposed to go to the finals. You know, really want to get down to it. I mean, they were a 2nd seed, and they didn't come out of nowhere. But, you know, if they wouldn't have made the finals last year, the expectations wouldn't have been for this year. So to me, that led to, okay, they came out, we're on a mission, and we want to get back to the finals and all of that. So they put their chest out right out the gate. Like, our goal was to get back to the finals and win the whole thing. So now you fall way short of that because New Orleans pushed them, and then now Dallas beats them. And I think that if you just go back, just rewind. Remember, we were here for Christmas.
Yes.
And they were
Simple
playing
times.
right. They were playing Golden State, and it was like, oh, this is going to be. We can't wait till they meet in the playoffs. Now that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Golden State's moving on. They're in the Western Conference Finals. And fans are going to be watching. So how do you move forward from that? You know, you take this and you go, okay, guys have got to get better. Guys that didn't show up, Mikal Bridges, he's grown, but he's got to be better. Cam Johnson's grown, got to be better. Ayton, I'm sure that they can match any offer that Ayton is offered because he's a restricted free agent. But if you bring Ayton back, he's got to be better. Chris Paul, you're looking at the age, and he didn't just get old overnight. Mm-hmm. Dallas has something to do with what happened tonight and what happened in the series. But I think you need to get either at the 1 or the 2 another guy that can create shots and score. That's what Dallas has. They have Luka, Brunson, and Dinwiddie. 3 guys that can go get it. Right now, the Suns have just 2 that can really go get buckets, and that's Devin and Chris. And Chris is 37. They need another guy, a younger guy who can go get his buckets, get shots, and help this team in that department. But reality is, for 3 years, they went from 19 wins before Monty got here to now being in the conversation of being one of the best teams in the league. So the improvement has been made. Now, how do you learn from something like this, and how do you get better at this? And guys got to go to the gym, get better on their overall games, and got to come back. And that's the tough thing about the NBA. You do 8 months of work. You do training camp, you do all that, and it could be over in 48 minutes. That hurts. And that's why you saw Cam Johnson at the end, like, he was ready. He was holding on.
Yes.
He held on, but you could tell he was emotional after that one. Like, hey, this is not supposed to happen. And it did. So how do you learn from it? How do you grow from it? Huge challenge because teams, the next step was to win the finals. But if you look at, say, like a Milwaukee, they had the best records in the league at times, and they didn't get to the finals. So they should take a page out of that and go, you know what, remember Milwaukee had the best record in the league, and they didn't win it. The year they didn't have it, they won it. So it's a matter of growth, and hopefully they will. But tonight it's hard to process that for them because of the way the game ended.
It's going to be a long time for them to process now that the offseason begins for the guys. But Duane Rankin has all you need to know for Suns coverage for AZ Central and Arizona Republic, joining us as our Suns insider tonight.